What's up, Bandit Posse? Irish Bandit back with you again for another edition of High Five. Today we are talking about 5 Sylvester Stallone movies that you should watch before you die. Since coming on the scene in 1970, he's been around that long. Sylvester Stallone has had a string of box office hits. He's also had a fair share of flops, like, let's be honest with you. But we're going to talk about the movies that you should watch of Sylvester Stallone's. Now, you may think he's just a big meathead action movie guy, but he can give you some really good depth in his performances, and he's one of the actors that I respect most. And these 5 movies really showcase his abilities as an actor, and I think we should just get into probably one of his best roles. The movie itself spawned 7 movies as of now. You had the 5 original movies, you had the 6th movie that kind of retconned everything, and the 7th movie that just is a spin-off of that series. But we're talking about the first movie that won an Academy Award in 1974. It's a great movie. It's one of my favorites. We're talking about Rocky. Released in 1976, Rocky tells the story of the title character Rocky Balboa, played by Sylvester Stallone, of course. He's a small-time boxer in Philadelphia just trying to make it in life, when all of a sudden he is handed a golden opportunity by world heavyweight champion Apollo Creed. Along the way, we're introduced to such characters as Paulie, his best friend, and his sister, Paulie's sister, Adrian, who is Rocky's love interest. There's a beautiful moment in the movie, in the first movie, where you have Rocky and Adrian ice skating on on Thanksgiving. St. Patrick's Day? What? Anyway, there's just this beautiful moment between Rocky and Adrian, and you see their relationship start to build after that. You see Paulie's jealousy when he starts spending more time with Adrian, and Adrian, he feels, is neglecting him. But this movie won the Academy Award for Best Picture, and it deserved it. It was a great movie throughout, and it really showed off Sylvester Stallone's acting ability. And the man can act. Like, he's not just all gun and run. The man can act. Like, I make a joke because, in Rocky, he's a punch drunk guy. Oh, we got to make this. And, Sylvester Stallone himself is one of the most articulate men that I've ever heard. Like, I've watched the director's commentary on Rocky Balboa, another great movie. Excellent movie in the series. And he's such an articulate guy and smart guy, too. He's just everything you want in an actor. And Rocky is everything you want in a movie. It spawned a very successful sequel, which I think lived right up to the movie. Then you had Rocky 3, which was okay. You had Rocky 4, which was... Rocky 5, I haven't even watched. I've heard it was terrible. Everyone I talk to says, just skip it. You don't need to see it. And then Rocky Balboa was just a fantastic return. And I thought Creed was really, really good, really emotional. And again, you saw that great acting ability by Sylvester Stallone, who in this time is in the supporting role. He's not the main focus. It's Apollo Creed's illegitimate son in that one. Spoilers. But yes, Rocky Balboa, Rocky, I should say. Rocky Balboa too. Rocky is definitely a movie you should watch. Another great movie by Sylvester Stallone. This is his second big franchise that came just on the heels of Rocky. I watched this movie for the first time actually just recently, and it's a fantastic movie. Oh, again, another great one that shows Sylvester Stallone's acting chops, which kind of got, as the series went on, I felt it kind of got bogged down by the action aspect of it. The sequel, the second movie in the series was great. I've still yet to watch the 3rd movie, and I haven't seen the 4th movie yet. But I really, really enjoyed First Blood. Released in 1982 and based on the book by the same name, First Blood follows the journey of John Rambo returning home after the Vietnam War. When he comes to a small town, he is hassled by the man, a small town sheriff played by Brian Dennehy, who played just an excellent asshole in this movie. He was just great. You see the you see how John Rambo is just tormented by everything, by being hassled by this sheriff who probably didn't agree with everything that went on in the Vietnam War. But you know why it's America's forgotten war, where John Rambo just wants to live a normal life. He has to go back into warrior mode to try and rectify everything. I thought this was a great role for Sylvester Stallone. I thought this was a great movie. It was a really interesting look at what happened post Vietnam, where it just seems everybody turned their back on the veterans of the Vietnam War. And it was really, really sad in that aspect that things like that would happen. That you just totally, a nation would turn its back on its veterans like that. I think Sylvester Stallone did a great job in the portrayal of John Rambo. I almost call him Rocky Balboa. He did a great job there too, but as John Rambo, he was just, you saw more of that excellent acting in this. And I do believe some of that carried over in First Blood Rambo 2. That's a whole thing I could get into. Or was it First Blood 2 Rambo? Or was it Rambo First Blood 2? It's hard to tell because, the first one was First Blood. The second one, I think, was First Blood 2 Rambo. The second one was Rambo 3. Now, James Rolfe got into this a little bit with his chronologically confused, where technically the title of that movie should have been Rambo 2 First Blood 3, but that gets confusing, so they just call it Rambo 3. I think that's where it got a little action heavy. I haven't seen the full thing. I'm going to watch it very, very soon. I love that all three movies are on Netflix, and then I got to track down Rambo and watch that one. Yeah, that then the fourth one is called Rambo, and it's confusing, but First Blood is fantastic, and it's definitely one you should watch. It has that great mix of drama and just really, really good action. So, I would definitely suggest First Blood. We're skipping a little ahead in the timeline of Sylvester Stallone movies. I thought this one was just a great movie through and through. It did fall into that formulaic thing that Sylvester Stallone had in the 90s. I'll get to that in a second, but this movie was fantastic. You had a great cast behind him in this one. Like, not only did you have Sylvester Stallone, you had Sandra Bullock, you had Benjamin Bratt, you had Dennis Leary, you had Jesse Ventura in a small role. And Wesley Snipes. How can you forget Wesley Snipes in this one? This was a fantastic movie. Great. I'll get into this, but it took that whole dystopian future and turned it on its head. And I absolutely love the movie Demolition Man. Released in 1993, Demolition Man is about renegade cop John Spartan, played by Sylvester Stallone, tracking down ultra criminal Simon Phoenix, played by Wesley Snipes. Spartan is accused of murdering a bunch of people he actually didn't, that were already dead before he even blew up the compound where Simon Phoenix was. For that, he is sentenced to life in cryo prison, where he is frozen, but is then released 37 years later in the year 2032. This takes place in the distant future of 1996, where in 1996, Los Angeles is just a hellhole. And then 37 years later, it is a peaceful utopia where there's no crime and no cause for the cops, but they're still there and they're a bunch of uptight assholes. Basically. But Spartan is released, so is Simon Phoenix, who was released beforehand. The tagline of this movie, I think, is a great one. Catch a maniac to send a maniac, and that's exactly what Simon Phoenix and John Spartan are. They're just two mortal enemies locked in conflict for years, it seems. This is just a fun movie, and you have great performances by Sylvester Stallone, by Sandra Bullock. Wesley Snipes is just this awesome villain. Like, it's funny how he can be this colorful bad guy in Demolition Man and then be this dark, brooding anti-hero in Blade. But you have great performance by Benjamin Bratt. Dennis Leary gives a great performance as rebellion leader Edgar Friendly. And you just see this future that is just saccharine and homogenized and just, ugh. And you kind of feel for Edgar Friendly, who wants things the way they were back in the 20th century. And you have Sandra Bullock's character, who's just 20th century obsessed. Like you have the Lethal Weapon poster in her office and all this 20th century paraphernalia. I think the one thing that I would really hate about the future of San Angeles, as it's called, well, not so much the fact that everything's Taco Bell. I could live with that. I had Taco Bell and I love Taco Bell. It's the morality fines that you're accumulating as you swear. Yeah, away from the channel, I swear like a sailor. So I'd be getting morality fines every other second. But this movie is just so much fun, and it just makes you want to cheer every time you watch it. And it is one that I absolutely enjoy. But the thing about it is, it kind of fell into this formulaic thing for Sylvester Stallone, where he would play a cop in a movie who gets busted for a crime he didn't commit and goes to jail for it. You saw that in just about every movie he was in, including the fourth movie on my list of movies you should watch. I'll get to that in a second, but you saw it in Demolition Man. You saw it in Judge Dredd, which will not be appearing on this list because that movie was just. I like Dredd better, and I hate Carl Urban. So go. I love Stallone. Hated Judge Dredd. Hate Carl Urban. Love Dredd. So you go figure that one out. But you saw it in this. You saw it in Judge Dredd, and you saw it in the number 4 movie on my list, which I think again great action movie, fun movie. Co-stars Kurt Russell as these opposing cops. The movie is Tango and Cash. Released in 1989 and boasting an all-star cast including Kurt Russell, Jack Palance, and Terry Hatcher, Tango and Cash tells the story of two rival LAPD detectives, Ray Tango, played by Sylvester Stallone, and Gabe Cash, played by Kurt Russell. When they're set up for crimes they did not commit, they have to figure out a way to get out of jail and get to the person who set them up for the crimes, played by Jack Palance, who just plays an excellent, over-the-top villain. He has these pet mice. Ray Tango comes tangoing in and taking all of my money. He's just fantastic as a bad guy. I've always loved Jack Palance for all his over-the-topness, like in Batman. When he's playing the lead bad guy before Jack Napier's turned into the Joker. You are my number one. Jack Palance is just great in anything he does. I haven't seen him as Dracula, so I want to see that. Anyway, Tango and Cash is just a fun movie. When you have these two polar opposite cops, you have the character Sylvester Stallone plays in Ray Tango. He's the Armani suit wearing Beverly Hills cop. And then you have Gabe Cash, played by Kurt Russell, who's just this no frills, t-shirt, blue jeans, drinking a beer in the morning. Just it's that kind of cop. And they just work well together. Because I love Sylvester Stallone and I love Kurt Russell as well. I think they're great together here. They have amazing chemistry. And then you throw in guys like Jack Palance and Terry Hatcher, who I think she plays Sylvester Stallone's sister in the movie, and then goes on to be Kurt Russell's love interest. She just has a great chemistry with them as well. But I think the chemistry between Sylvester Stallone's character and Kurt Russell's character is just wonderful. I love these two together. And Tango and Cash was a movie that I watched as a kid, and I thought it was a fun movie, and I appreciate it even more to this day. It's one you should really check out, and it's just a fun movie. That's all I can say about it, and you'll definitely get a kick out of it. There's some really funny moments, like at the beginning of the movie when they're chasing down a semi-truck full of cocaine, and one cop says to the other one, talking about Tango, he goes, "Yeah, here he goes playing Rambo again." Tango takes out his gun like it's a Colt 45. Boom! Blows it open. You see the coke rolling down, and goes, "Rambo." Well, I'm not going to say it here. I try to keep my videos PG. So, but it's a great line. Look it up and watch the movie, and you'll get a kick out of it if you know Sylvester Stallone's history. Well, one more movie to get to. This one, when I heard about this one, all the actors who were going to be in this one, that it was going to be a throwback to 80s action movies, I was like, oh god, this is just going to be an explosion fest with no story to it. Well, I was kind of right. It was an explosion fest, a little bit of a story to it. but it was one movie that I absolutely enjoyed. Loved the hell out of it. I thought it was fun. I thought the sequels were kind of took the story and then just kind of replaced that with action. But the first movie was great, and of course, I'm talking about The Expendables. Released in 2010, The Expendables boasts a huge all-star action cast that includes Sylvester Stallone, of course. It includes Jason Statham, Jet Li, Dolph Lundgren. Who else? Terry Crews, Bruce Willis, cameo by Arnold Schwarzenegger, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Eric Roberts. Holy crap, what a lineup. Okay. All right, minus Eric Roberts, I'm not a huge fan of his because I think he's kind of cornball and definitely nowhere near the caliber of his sister Julia, but he works in this movie. I gotta admit, The Expendables is about a team of mercenaries, of course, called the Expendables. And they're sent into a little country in South America who is under the rule of a dictator played by David Zayas from Dexter fame. I've seen him pop up on Gotham, and he just does a good job here. It was interesting to see him go from this lighthearted detective to this brutal dictator. But they're sent in to overthrow the government through Mr. Church, played by Bruce Willis. And this is a total action movie, guy film, but there is a bit of a story to it with Barney Ross, played by Sylvester Stallone, and the dictator's daughter. They kind of strike up a friendship. There's no relationship in this one, so there's no tacked on love story, but the friendship develops between the two of them. And it's just a fun visual feast. Like, a while back when I was hearing stuff about Expendables 2, I was so excited because Chuck Norris was going to be in the second one. And somebody said, "Oh, The Expendables was a terrible movie." Well, what did you expect? Shakespeare? I didn't expect that. I just expected explosions everywhere and action. And if you're expecting anything other than that from a movie called The Expendables that stars Sylvester Stallone, Jason Statham, Jet Li, Terry Crews, Randy Couture, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Dolph Lundgren, and a whole bunch of 80s action stars, you're going to be disappointed. I wasn't expecting anything, and I wasn't disappointed. So I thought The Expendables was just a fun movie, and it's just one you can turn your brain off for about an hour and a half and just enjoy it for what it is. Just a visual feast. That's all it is. Just a visual feast that you can have fun with and just forget about things. Because if you take movies too seriously, what's the point? Movies aren't meant to be taken seriously. They're just meant for you to lose yourself for however long it is. Like, I had this one person, I won't call him a friend, because he's, kind of a closed-minded idiot, but I won't get into that one. He's like, "Oh, comic book movies suck, and if you're I won't use the word, if you like comic books, you're gay," and, well, what's wrong with just escaping life for a while? That's why I watch The Walking Dead, to escape life. Will there ever be a zombie apocalypse? I don't know. But it's fun to escape for a while, so, ram it up your ass. Anyway, I love The Expendables. I thought it was a great movie. And the second, third one was okay. Well, the second one was okay. The third one was kind of hit or miss for me. I thought Mel Gibson was completely over the top in it and was great. And when I heard Kelsey Grammer was going to be in it, I was like, yes, Kelsey Grammer is in it. He's in it for 5 whole minutes putting together a new team. That included Ronda Rousey's. Well, I got to give props for that one. I was okay with that. And then in the second one, you had Chuck Norris and Jean-Claude Van Damme. You had Antonio Banderas. I think he was in either the second or the third one. Wesley Snipes was in one of them, so it was good to see him and Sylvester Stallone back together. So, but the first one was just fun. And I've heard rumors of a fourth one. I don't know. I've heard rumors Hulk Hogan was going to be in the fourth one. I love Hulk Hogan, but he's a notorious liar. But we'll have to wait and see. There are so many great Sylvester Stallone movies that you should check out. These are the 5 that I definitely recommend above all else. So, I want to thank you for tuning in to the High Five today. I will be back with another High Five in 2 weeks. We're going to be delving into horror movies, my favorite subject. So stick around for that. Some quick housekeeping to get around to. Well, you've seen this week that I had just a bunch of videos come out. Had the Saskatoon Expo Day 1, Saskatoon Expo Day 2, Bobby Heenan tribute. I had 2 episodes of the Toy Chest. We're going to keep that going. Tomorrow, I'm going to have my No Mercy predictions up. This coming week, I'm going to have a few more Toy Chest episodes for the figures that I bought during Saskatoon Expo. I'm going to have a special 40th episode coming up for the Toy Chest, talking about my top 5 favorite vinyl pops that I own. Oh, what else is coming up? Oh, other than the 9th season of Irish Bandit Revolution coming up in November. There's going to be more coming up, so stay tuned, stay subscribed, tap that bell. What is your favorite Sylvester Stallone movie? Let me know in the comments section down below. Don't forget to like this video, share this video. Again, don't forget to subscribe and tap that bell to be notified of what's coming up. There's a lot coming up. So that's even before the 9th season of Irish Bandit Revolution. So get ready for that. We're going to be in this new format. I'm absolutely loving the look of this. So get ready for more. All right, well, that is it for this episode of High Five, and I will see you again for another in 2 weeks. I'm the Bandit. Take care.